I was recently on a podcast, and after watching it, I'm like, oh, it's a lot that I didn't talk about. And that's normal, I think, right? So I'm going to go ahead and talk about it now. So I had mentioned that my dad is from Chicago. Now, I want to say this. As a child, my dad used to have to come from my hometown, which is Indianapolis, Indiana, to get me because my mother was in and out of jail a lot. And so when he broke up with my mother, he did get married, and he had a son with that woman afterwards. So him and his wife kind of raised me when I was a child, because they were getting me. And I remember my dad like giving me baths. I remember him doing my hair, having me in dresses, ponytails. Like, my dad was like taking care of me, okay? And his wife would too. And so when people hear me talk about Chicago, I'm talking about it because I'm familiar with it, you know. So I was there as a child because my dad had me a lot. And then my family, I have a huge family in Chicago. But I always represent my city, where I'm from. So let's talk about my mom. My mother was a thug, okay? She dated a kingpin. That kingpin had introduced her to a world of drugs and a world of being a booster. All right. And so because of that, she was in and out of jail a lot, more so because of boosting. She said she was scared to sell drugs, so that really wasn't her thing. She did attempt, but she didn't go through with it. But he was a kingpin. And I asked her, I had spoke to her a couple of days ago. I said, how did you even meet him? She said she was a young girl, nice looking. My mother's a red woman. And she said she had a long curl, and she would walk past this halfway house, and all the guys would try to talk to her. And so she said it was one in particular that was like very consistent. That's the one she talked to. He had just got out of jail. He had just got out of prison for selling drugs. And then when he met my mom, he went hard with it. And so he became a kingpin. And my mom, she left him because she started getting scared. She said it was just too much going on for her. So he did try to come back. He had a woman. She was at a party. Had a mutual friend. It was a party. He was outside. The girlfriend's outside. My mother was like, the girl was beautiful. She was like, do you know this fool comes in talking about, Renee, come on, let's go in the bathroom and have some, you know what? And she said, are you crazy? A woman outside, she beautiful. What you want me for? And he was like, because I want you. He pulls out all this money. Look at all this money. See, if you would have stayed with me, you could have stayed and enjoyed it. She said, nah, I'm good. So anyway, that is that. My mother did everything. Okay, I've watched my mother get in fights. My mother was a fighter. She used to whoop some tail. You hear me? I used to watch. My mama got in one particular fight. It was so bad. They tumbling down the stairs. I still can remember where this neighborhood is at, the street and everything. And this is some PJ's projects. They tumbling down the stairs, and they boobs is out. And so I could just remember the man saying, it's titties, it's titties. And I'm a kid, and I'm trying to like pull my mom's shirt down, like, no, talk about my mom's. So I'm trying to pull him down. And so my mom did everything. She sold cat. She was an alcoholic. Her favorite thing to drink was Coke 45. My mother did have 4 daughters. She started having children at the age of 15. 2 of her older kids are by a man that was much older than her. She was 15. He was 29. This man prayed on my mom at church. My mom met him in church. He had a family already. And he had a woman already. He was a mess. But after having those 2 kids, he used to abuse my mother. She later left him. And that's when she got with my dad. When she got with my dad like kind of helped raise the kids because they were together. But later during the course, like once I came, she lost custody of them. The dad got custody, and then he lost them because he was physically and mentally abusing them just like he did my mom. And so my mom lost her rights. They got placed in foster care. One sister got adopted. The other sister was sent to mental institutions, and she was there until she was 15, and she came back to our family. So yeah, I watched my mother do everything wrong. Okay, so I could do everything right. And this is probably why. I know it's why. This is why I live an honest life. I work and I do what's right. I've always done what's right. I've never been in jail. I've never done any of those things that my mother does. I'm not about to sell to nobody. Okay. I'm an honorable woman up here, respectful. But I do have respect for my mom. Even though I've seen her do all of them things, I have seen her, be a good mother as well. I got to give her cards, until she couldn't be a good mother anymore. But yeah, that's some of it. I'm trying to think, was it something else I wanted to talk about? Oh yes, I just want to say this. Anytime I'm talking about Chicago and people like, yeah, I know, because my dad, he was raising me in Chicago, the west side of Chicago. They still there. They've been there over 30 years. Okay, my family, my dad, I would say they are some west side Chicagoans, and I have a huge family in Chicago, a huge family. My grandmother had a lot of kids, and those kids had a lot of kids. We just got a big family. But yeah, that's some of my roots. And I think about other things that I talk about as far as that too, because the story of my mama's not over. She's in prison. She's done 27 years. She got a 30-year bid. And a lot has changed for her. And yeah, y'all be hearing her story because I got like a phone interview. But I'll talk to y'all later.